Okay, Monday, June the 1st, 2020, and we're looking at the long-wave infrared map here. We can see that, first of all, we've had very, very heavy spraying the last 3 days, over the weekend and today, Monday. We can see right here we had a developing low pressure, which is winding a lot of moisture right into California, right here. Here's central and southern California, and so right now we should be having a lot of rain. But instead, the weather controllers are spraying the skies. We have near whiteout conditions. If you look at the Doppler map here right now, we can see that there's pretty much zero precipitation anywhere where we should be having a lot of rain. Right down here in the southern and the central California area, we can see some rain up near the High Sierra, near Tahoe, along the border of Nevada. So getting back to the long-wave infrared map, once again we see just a tremendous amount of moisture streaming right into California, and so we know when we have a no rain forecast and we have these conditions where we should be having rain, it's just a 100% given that the jets, the specially equipped jets, are up spraying the chemtrail haze, and that will cap the atmosphere, prevent the lift. And of course we have to have two components for precipitation: rain. We have to have lift in the atmosphere, and we have to have moisture in the atmosphere. So we've got the moisture right here streaming in, but we have no lift, and that's because the atmosphere, the upper atmosphere, has been capped by these chemical aerosols, which are also a desiccant, which lowers the relative humidity in the atmosphere. And so this is why when these heavy aerosols are sprayed over the moisture moving in, we have basically no natural clouds. What happens is that they dissipate, and we're left with just a sort of a soup of leftover haze. And so that's the situation right now here in California the past 3 days. We've also got riots all over the country. Here's the water vapor map. You'll notice that the mainstream fake news media are calling these riots, they're calling them protests, when in fact they're riots. This is rioting, and it's insurrection, and it needs to be stopped. And we'll notice that certain states have been very slow to call on the National Guard to get in and stop these innocent businesses, people that are trying to get their lives back together and get their businesses rolling again. We're finding that certain states, including California, are asleep at the wheel, either by intent or for whatever reason, but they aren't getting the job done. So remember that next November, folks, if you're from California, who's your friend and who really doesn't care about you. Here we are looking at the water vapor map. We can see clearly what's going on. We have a lot of water vapor streaming in. Once again, we see an evaporation pattern right over this jet stream flow, which is diving down around this low pressure. This is low pressure. Everything higher pressure always flows to low pressure, yet we see this evaporation pattern. This is going to cut off the spigot. You see the spigot right here. This is the jet stream flow, and so here in a day or so we'll see an end of the chemtrail haze and back to warm temperatures again. Now, of course, we do have warmer temperatures than we should be having because of the these aerosols being sprayed. As I've mentioned many times, the precipitation, rain, naturally cools the atmosphere. We end up with wet ground. The ground becomes very nice and soaked, and we have evaporative cooling, which is another subject we're going to get into here in the future. Evaporative cooling. All right, here's a close-up water vapor map showing California. We see all of that moisture streaming in, and the jets are spraying over that, and that's why we're not having any rain. And once again, the Doppler map. So we can see that there's really nothing going on in most of California or Arizona. And let's get back and take a look here again at what's happening over Arizona, which we can see right here, I guess it is. This area, that's actually in northern Mexico, but watch what happens when this loop repeats. We can see that there is a weather system that develops right over northern Mexico and Arizona right here. Now watch what happens. Look at the blast pattern. They superheat that with a satellite transmitter, and it completely evaporates. We can see the remnants of that ring right there. Okay, so this is a short video. The MODIS Today map has lately been cutting off California. We can't see the aerosols being sprayed. I haven't looked at that map yet. We'll do an update here real soon and capture some of those MODIS Today images to show the heavy aerosol haze being sprayed. Okay, so that's it. I hope everybody stick to your guns, as they say. All right, we've got basically a insurrection going on here in this country. We've got rioters, and it's organized crime, really. People being bussed in to generate chaos in cities around the country. Now, that isn't to say, or rather I should say, that the death of George Floyd was just really unbelievable. It's terrible to watch that police can have such bad judgment and such ignorance of who they're dealing with, which is the public. They're entrusted to protect and serve. And so I just hope that everybody, it's very angering to watch that video, and many people are out of work right now, and it's just a terrible thing. It's a kind of a perfect storm of circumstances. We had the pandemic, the fake pandemic, which put a lot of people out of work, and now we have a situation where people are angry and jobless, and they are taking out their frustrations any way they can. And it's unfortunate that a lot of innocent people are in the middle of this, but at some point it's going to have to stop, and hopefully it'll end, and people will get their heads together, and these 4 cops need to be tossed in jail, because the other 3 are accessories after the fact. When you see someone strangling somebody and you work with them, it's your duty to should be your duty to grab them and pull them off, but that's not happening in a lot of forces around the country, and that has to change. These cops need to go to jail. It's setting a bad example for all the other cops and law enforcement. So that's my 2 cents worth, and we'll do another update here real soon. That's it.